Faces of the Game by Mandy Mack. I'm going to be reading the first couple of chapters. I need you to thumb up this video if you want me to read more. I will put the link to where to purchase this book and how to follow the author on Instagram, who is following me back, by the way. Love you, Mandy Mack. Alright, so let's get into it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year's! The crowd sang in unison at Club 112 of Atlanta, Georgia. All of the ballers, gangsters, good fellas, and good girls who like bad boys was there. The DJ played the hottest jams, everything from old school hip-hop and R&B to new school tunes. The line outside was still wrapped around the building. Cars were still entering the parking lot surrounding the club. Ash, Shell, Niecy, and Tierra were in the limo parked in front of the red carpet that led to the VIP line directly in front of the club. They all made their finishing touches on their makeup, made sure their hair fell right, and each of them sprayed a few puffs of their favorite perfume before entering the red carpet. Shell stepped out first, rocking a Marciano dress and Marc Jacob boots. She wore her hair long and layered in a simple Dominican-style wrap. Ash wore a sweater dress by BB, a pair of Prada peep-toe pumps, and she wore her hair in a shoulder-length bob. Then came Niecy, and she wore a dress by Vera Wang, suede Nine West shoes, and she wore her hair long, jet black with curls at the ends and a small hump at the top. Last, Tierra stepped out wearing a red button-down top with ruffles that surrounded the buttons by BB and a pair of high-waist jeans by BB. She wore the checkerboard print Louis Vuitton pumps, wearing her hair long with bronze and gold highlights with big curls that accented her highlights very well. They all walked straight to the window without waiting in line and handed their VIP tickets that they purchased earlier that day to the lady behind the glass window. The bouncer checked their bags for weapons. He escorted them to the main entrance of the club. He pointed to the booth that they had reserved, and the girls strutted towards the booth. As the label whores approached the crowd, they felt as if all eyes were on them. People were checking them out from head to toe as if they were celebrities. Girls were envious because the 4 girls weren't there 5 minutes and they stole the crowd's attention. One girl even bumped into Tierra, so she elbowed the girl right away and stared at her as if to say, "Bitch, I dare you." The rest of the girls silently stared her down until she was out of sight. As they entered the booth, they showed the bouncers their wristband and ticket stubs. So he unlatched the red velvet rope that connected 2 poles, and he let them into the booth. Soon after, the girls sat on the plush couches and made themselves comfortable while a waitress brought them some bottles that they had ordered. They had a bottle of Moet, Cristal, Remy Martin, and Grey Goose. Everyone had chosen one of their favorites, and they wanted a variety so they could feel important, stunt, and give people complimentary drinks as they stopped by their booth. The girls reached their digital cameras, and each of them took pictures as they popped their selected bottle of champagne or liquor. They acted silly as they poured glasses for themselves and took more pictures. "Nobody parties like us," they all said as a cheer toast. Shell and Niecy decided to walk around and mingle with the people in the crowd for a while. They walked through the crowd, squeezing through couples, and were dancing like wild and crazy people, snatching their arms from guys who were tugging at them, and maneuvering through the rest of the crowd that just seemed to be standing in the way or trying to get through as well. They finally made it to the other side, where a group of nice young men invited them into their booth for a few drinks. Since Shell and Niecy had already had their glasses of Moet and Remy, plus they didn't know these dudes, they declined the offer, but they still briefly held conversation with the guys. They were from Nashville, Tennessee. Shell and Niecy told them that they were from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The guys asked for their names and numbers, but Shell and Niecy took their numbers instead and promised to call them the next day. After chatting with them for a few minutes, they decided to make their way back to the other side of the club. As they walked through, they saw a few familiar faces in the crowd. "Damn, we always see somebody from Winston." Shell turned around and said to Niecy. "Always," Niecy said in agreement, and they continued to walk. As they approached the side that they were sitting on, they saw Chip, Ryan, B, Hood, and the rest of the fellas that hung with them. They were the most notorious crew of bosses and ballers from North Carolina with ties to various drug organizations across the country. They threw money in the air as one of the old school hip hop classics played. This is it, what? Literally falling from the sky, let's get rich, what? Them dumb fucks got to be drunk. They know if they were sober, they would be throwing ones instead of 20s. Shell said, laughing. Yeah, they will be sick in the morning, Niecy said, and they both laughed as they gave each other that. Their booth was only a couple of booths down from the girls. They walked over and spoke to them for a moment. Ryan grabbed Niecy by the waist and kissed her on the cheek. Hey, baby, you enjoying yourself? She asked him as she turned and focused her attention on him. Yeah, it's alright. How about you? He responded. They sat down on the couch, and she poured herself another glass of Remy Martin VSOP. Chip sat at the other end of the couch. He stared at Shell until she focused her attention on him. He monitored her to come over, so she did. Now, are you ready to give me your number? He asked her as he leaned back and put his arm behind her head on the couch. Yeah, I guess, she said, smiling at him. 336-555-7270, she said, before he could even get his phone out of his pocket. Damn, baby, slow down. What is it again? Don't call me that, she said as she took his phone from him and attempted to put her number in it. Here, I don't know how to work your phone. 336-55-7270, she said again. What took you so long to give me your number anyway? Chip asked. He tried to holler at Shell on several occasions, but she played hard to get for almost 2 years. I had a boyfriend when you first tried to talk to me, but after that, I don't know, she said, looking up at the ceilings as if she were trying to remember why she didn't talk to him before. You want something to drink? He asked her. Yeah, what do y'all have? She asked him. All we got is Yak over here, he told her. Well, I'm about to head back to my booth. I'm drinking champagne tonight, but I'll be right back over here. She stood up and walked over to the steps. She spoke to all the fellas as she walked away from the booth and told Niecy she was going back to the booth with the girls for a minute. Niecy nodded her head and continued to talk to Ryan. On her way back over to the booth, Jock and Chloe walked up, drunk as hell. Hey, Shell, Chloe said as she put her hand on Shell's shoulder. Back up, bitch. You are drunk as hell, Shell said as she laughed at Chloe. Jock walked over to the booth with the dudes, and they continued their conversation. Where in the hell have you been? The club is almost over, Shell quizzed Chloe. Girl, we brought the new year in together, Chloe said as she laughed and hit Shell on the arm. Save it, Shell said as she walked over to the booth with Chloe. Happy New Year's, bitches, Chloe said as she giggled and sat down. Where the hell you been, bitch? It's almost 1:30, Tara asked Chloe as she gave her a bottle of water. Shut up, bitch. I know you ain't talking, Chloe said, twisting the top off the tube-shaped glass bottle of water. I needed that, she said, thankful that Tara gave her the water. I know you were drunk as hell, Tara said, laughing. Where's Ash? Shell asked Tara. Girl, Ash and Lo just left. They are both drunk as hell. Enough said. They both laughed. Shell poured herself another glass of Moet and sipped on it while thinking about Chip. He is pretty cool. He's been trying to get at me for a while, and he never gave up. I may as well give him a chance. Plus, I like his style. He's not the cutest guy in the world, but that doesn't really matter. He is low-key for the most part, and his baby mama is not an issue, so I've heard. It's that damn Kiki that would be my concern. I hope he knows I don't do drama. Her thoughts were interrupted. What's up? So what are you doing after the club? Chip had walked over to their booth. Not you, nigga. Why? Shell said as she poured herself yet another drink. There you go with that snappy attitude. I know that much. I wouldn't have hollered at you if you were out there like that, he said, shaking his head and looking at Shell in amazement. Finally, he thought to himself, what the hell are you looking at me like that for? Shell asked him. Don't act like you might fall in love with me one day, he said to her as he once again put his arm on the couch behind her head. This time, they were in the girls' booth. You want to go get something to eat after this, he asked her. Yeah, let's go to City Cafe. It's on the corner of 14th Street downtown, she told him. Alright, I'm going to call you. Don't scream my call either, he said jokingly. He spoke to the ladies as he left the booth. Niecy came over. Girl, What have y'all been talking about all night? Nothing really. We're going to get something to eat after the club. Me and Ryan are too. Where y'all going? City Cafe? Sounds good. Ryan wants to go to IHOP. Tira and Corey were standing at the edge of the booth, arguing as usual. Come on, y'all. I can't believe y'all are bringing in the new year like this, Shell said, walking towards them. Well, believe it, Niecy snickered. Nah, this motherfucker is trying to tell me that he wasn't with that bitch last night. Man, I'm not stupid, Tira said with her arms folded and her right eyebrow raised. So, girl, a dude gonna be a dude. Don't sweat that shit. You ain't gonna leave him alone, so stop arguing, at least for one night. Damn, Shell said, pouring yet another glass of Moet. She looked at Corey with her nose slightly flared as if he stunk and walked back to the other side of the booth and sat down. Chloe went over and sat with the fellas for a few moments, and Niecy sat behind Shell. A few moments later, Tira and Corey were smiling at each other. He apologized, and Tira accepted. The DJ played slow jams, letting everyone know, and then the night was approaching. Shell and Niecy decided to go over to the booth with the guys one last time. Niecy and Ryan danced a few songs, and Shell talked to Chip for a little while longer. So how old are you? She asked him. I'm 25. How old are you? I'm 20, she told him. How the hell did you get in here if you're only 20? I have a copy of Tira's ID. Oh, so how old is Niecy? I know Ryan young as hell. She is 19. Damn, y'all some youngins for real. Shut up, Shell said, laughing. You don't act 20. I usually talk to females who are younger than me. I usually don't talk to females who are younger than me. Oh, so I'm not too young? No, you straight, I guess. We will have to make an exception for you. Whatever. Let's see how long this will last. They both laughed. Chip stood up and held his hand out to help Shell up. She stood up and told him she would see him in a little while. You ready? Shell asked Niecy. Yeah, let's go get Tira. They both left the booth and walked over to the VIP section. Tira and Corey were kissing. Niecy and Shell looked at each other in disgust. They sat down and talked until Tira and Corey were finished. You ready? Niecy asked Tira. Yeah, come on. They exited the booth one by one. They left before the majority of the crowd so they wouldn't have to fight their way to the door. They stood outside waiting on their ride, but there was no sign of a black Lincoln limousine anywhere in sight. They waited patiently, enjoying the cool night breeze, but after a while, they began to get cold. Tira called the limo driver, but there was no answer. Strange, I wonder where he is, Niecy said. Let's wait a few minutes and try him again, Shell suggested. The limo finally pulled up, but it wasn't their driver. Hello, are you looking for Frank? A short man with black pants, a white collar shirt, a black vest, and a black bow tie came over and asked the young ladies. Yeah, who the hell are you? Tira asked with an attitude. Oh, my name is Abdul. I will be your driver for the rest of your stay here. Where is Frank? Shell asked, concerned. He was shot. We believe he was robbed at the gas station across the street. The girls looked at one another with suspicion. And how are we sure that you didn't kill him? Do you work for the same company? Tira asked. Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm Frank's co-worker and friend. I can assure you that I didn't do this, Abdul said with an accent. Shit, if he tries us, it's 3 against 1. We straight, Shell said. The girls walked over to the limo. Abdul opened the door and they climbed in one by one. Shell called Ash to make sure she and Lo had made it to their destination safely. Ash didn't answer, but she called Shell back in a few minutes later. We are straight. I will be back to the room tomorrow. Okay, girl, don't do anything I wouldn't do. They both laughed and hung up. The girls were really uneasy the whole ride back. Where to? The driver asked. The W Hotel, Niecy told him. They each sat in silence, saying personal prayers for Frank and his family. A tear fell from Shell's eyes as she gazed out the window and asked God to welcome another angel into heaven on that night. They arrived safely and each gave him a tip before getting out. Here's my card. Call me whenever you are all ready for me to pick you up tomorrow. Abdul handed each of them a business card and they walked into the hotel. What the hell? Niecy said as she looked at Tira and Shell. The girls walked into the revolving door one by one. Girl, I don't know what's going on. Maybe we should have chosen another limo service, Shell suggested. Nah, things happen sometimes and we don't have control over them. We will be alright as long as nothing else gets any weirder, Tira said, assuring her cousins that everything was going to be okay. Shell decided to sleep in. Niecy and Tira's sweet since Ash wasn't coming back anyway. She ran across the hall, slipped on her navy blue Ralph Lauren fleece pajama pants and top, and slipped on her Minnie Mouse footies, grabbed her charger, her cell phone, and went back across the hall. Before she knew it, Chip was calling her. After the disturbing news, she had forgot all about going to breakfast. Yeah, she answered, as the girls turned to the 24-hour news channel. What's up? I'm on my way to come get you. Where are y'all staying? Chip said into the receiver. The W, Shell said, still staring at the television without blinking. You alright? He asked, concerned about her monotone voice. Yeah, I'm good. Call me when you are about to pull up. Shell responded, snapping out of it. Breaking news, a limo driver was shot dead outside an Atlanta nightclub just minutes after the new year arrived. Reporting live from News 2, the news anchor said. The camera switched over to an anchor man in the studio, and he continued by saying, no arrest has been made, but the murder may be linked to a mob altercation. If you have any information, call 404-555-7001. Visit our website for current updates on this case. With that, he was off the air. Why kill him? Why not just duke it out? Shell said, shaking her head. I know, right? People are just heartless these days. How can you just kill an innocent man? They had the nerve to say it had something to do with a mob or something. Yeah, right. Frank seemed like a nice person, Niecy said, certain that the driver had nothing to do with an altercation of any sort with the mob. The news dude acted like he didn't even care. He was almost sarcastic about the situation, Tara added. Shell got up, told the girl she would be right back, and went across the hall to change into a pair of 7 jeans, a tight white tee, a hoodie, and a pair of white Air Max. After changing, Shell grabbed her pajamas and headed back over to her cousin's room. I'm going to eat breakfast with Chip. I'll be back, though, Shell said as she sat back on the couch and continued watching television. Oh, me and Ryan were supposed to go to IHOP. Let me get ready, Niecy said as she got up and looked for something comfortable to throw on. She called him and threw on a pink sweatsuit and a pair of Ugg boots. The girls were off to breakfast in a matter of minutes. They all planned to meet back at the hotel room after they ate.